Hello everybody and welcome to this end of the afternoon safari here from the Masai Mara in Kenya. My name is James and a very special welcome to the kids from Skillen Elementary School today. I hope you're having a good day at school. I bet you didn't expect to come to Kenya today. Quite exciting. Back on camera today is Jean-Andre. There is his thumb. The last time I was here with him was September last year. I'm not going to tell you what he likened that memory to, as he tried to insult me earlier today, but with any luck you will never hear any such nastiness like I had to deal with earlier today. Now, ask as many questions as you like, as I'm sure Byron and Ali have told you to, and you can do that by just asking your teacher, and those of you who are not at school, mercifully, those of you who finished your school days, #Safari Live, of course, is how you get hold of us. That, of course, is a giraffe on World Giraffe Day. And this particular kind of giraffe is the Masai giraffe, he's called, quite appropriately, living in the Masai Mara. Masai giraffe, this very area, but I don't know what she said to them. Perhaps she said something nasty, and so, well, unfortunately she's now all on her lonesome. She doesn't mind, though. Giraffe quite like being on their own from time to time. Now, she's not totally alone from another animal point of view. Although she is alone as a giraffe, there are some zebra not too far from her, to the left and to the right, and Jean-Andre will show us those when he so desires. There they are, standing in the shade of a shepherd's bush, I think. They eat leaves from trees. They don't eat grasses because, of course, it's difficult for them to get to grass. Have a digestive system that allows them largely to eat leaves from trees only, and they are called browsers. So all you have to remember from that Veda is that they're called browsers. Now we're going to swap all the way from that giraffe because there's just so much to see out here right now, and you're going to sweep across a beautiful view, and then we're going to look down towards some buffalo way in the distance there. And we'll try and get a little bit closer to them, or Brent might. He's also out here in the Mara today. So that's a buffalo. And just in the foreground there, you can see some baboons. And those are called olive baboons. The olive baboon lives here in Kenya. So they're like monkeys, but just a bit bigger and hairier. And, well, they've got bigger teeth too. Well, we're not really with zebra. There is one zebra there, but what I wanted to show you was a very special animal. It's called a Coke's hartebeest. There we are, and they look quite strange, you know. There we go. They've got very strange shaped horns and a sort of surprised look on their faces all the time, which I think is quite funny. Now, they're grazers. They eat grass. Not like the giraffe, of course, which I told you eats the leaves on trees. So this is a grazer, and it eats the grass that grows in the ground. And they're quite big, you know. The big males will weigh up to about 100, at least 218 kilograms, which in pounds is, well, about 450 pounds. So they're pretty big. And I just think they're rather special, you know. I've just got to this place called the Masai Mara here in Kenya, and this is only the second time that I've seen the Coke's hartebeest. And I know hartebeest is quite a difficult word to say, so I want you to all try. Are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hartebeest. As well. 1, 2, 3. Hartebeest. There we go. Well done, Jean-Andre. And it's quite because both the male and the female have horns. Now, we think that when that happens, both the male and the female use their horns to fight off predators, as opposed to animals that only have the males with horns, like many of the deer species near where you live, and we think they use those for fighting off other males. Now, Tara, you want to know how free the animals are here. Well, what I'm going to do is ask Jean-Andre to pan the camera over this enormous area all around us. And I'm going to tell you that as far as you can see on your screen, there are no fences, there are no people. And these animals get to roam this area completely free without any human interference whatsoever. So it is a very free place. And it even crosses an international border, goes down into Tanzania, and it's part of an area that's probably about 3.5 million hectares of land, and that is 8 million or so acres. So it is a massive, massive piece of land, this. Isn't that gorgeous? All of that space is for the animals. Alrighty, let's carry on. We're going to continue down the hill. I'm just going to move out of the way so that this chap behind us can go past. There are other people out here on the safari. And while we do that, we'll just have a look at those pigs there. Now, Rebecca, you're wondering what the temperature in the Mara is. The temperature at the moment is currently probably, I would say, about 19 degrees Celsius. No, it's probably about 26 degrees Celsius or so, between 80 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. And what you're looking at there, of course, is a warthog. And the warthogs are eating grass, much the same as the hartebeest were doing that, but they'll be eating a different part of Well, here we are, everybody, back to normal drive. Remember, hashtag Safari Live is how you ask any questions that you might wish to. That, of course, is on the tweet. Other than on the tweet, it is impossible for you to ask us any questions these days. I'm just going to greet this fellow next to us. Good afternoon. Hello. There they are. One smile, the others looked like they were having a root canal treatment. Anyway, there we have more giraffe on International Giraffe Day. And we also had some elephant in the background, and Jandri is now very proudly going to show you some other elephants down there somewhere. There they are, miles away, 400 kilometers or so, grazing in amongst the trees, the sparsely distributed trees, the great Masai Mara. Now, it would seem that nobody knows where any lions are. We saw a lion this morning. And our objective, of course, is to try and find some lions this afternoon and then remain with them because we want to see what they do tonight. We're not going to be broadcasting that because we have to try and practice and figure out exactly what's going on, how, when. But just to keep you posted, that's what we are doing. And so Brent and I will both be on the search for the lions. Now, I don't want to go this way. I think rumours of lions that way are incorrect. But I might be incorrect. So I think we'll go this way. And I'm going to go to exactly where I saw the cubs yesterday afternoon and see if we don't pick up on them there. We will observe these tipple skirchies as we go past, because it is International Giraffe Day. Alright, apparently we're not going to look at these tipple skirchies for much longer because Ali has found something interesting. Okay. Got it. We're live. Oh, hello everybody. Sorry about that. I think I pushed my radio by mistake. Well, this is the Angama Pride, I'm reliably told by my fearless commander-in-chief, and he says that they are specialising in warthogs and I quote, looking for bacon in the grass. Well, there is one of them, and the other has just popped its head up out of its bacon search, way off. Over there, can you see it, John Dream? There it is. No, there it is. Well done. Isn't that lovely? Well, I don't mean the sort of ablution facilities that you can see in the background. That is the Ulololo Gate, by the way. Oh, they're moving, and their cubs going with them. One cub. Now this, everyone, is why a lion is this colour. This is the kind of habitat it evolved in. look how brilliantly hidden it remains in amongst the red grass here. Now, whether or not they've spotted something, I don't know. But we have 2 lionesses, and I'm going to ask how many there are in the Angama pride, because as far as I'm aware, there are more than just the 2 of them. I haven't managed to learn all of that information just yet. Hello, Brenda. You want to know how you tell the difference between a male and a female lion, as we've completely lost sight of these lions. And I drove this road this morning, and I'm pretty sure they were just lying flat in the grass here. Brenda, you say other than the mane, how do you tell the difference? Well, a male is much bigger than a female. And obviously, if you see behind their tails, then you're not going to be confused in the slightest. But a male is generally about 25% to 30% larger than a female. I'm going to just sneak a little bit forward. Because I've now become completely invisible. Yeah. Okay, I can just see the one, John Ree. Can you see it there? It's like a little boat in the sea of grass. I'm not sure if there's I think there is a road that goes around that way. There she is. Sorry, Tina, I missed your question. I'm going to ask for it again. Oh, I thought that's what the question was. You say, why do they stink so much? Do they? Oh, they don't stink so much at all, Tina. They get a bit smelly when they get around a carcass, but otherwise they're not very smelly at all. And in fact, I think you'll find one of the reasons they and leopards clean themselves so fastidiously is to try and get off the smell of carrion, so that they are not smelt when they're on the hunt and the wind changes, for example. So I don't think they're very stinky at all. Have you had an experience of a stinky lion? I think, maybe you're talking about where the Nkahuma pride are. I mean, it'll be very stinky around where they are now, because they made a kill, and then they don't bother to clean themselves until they're finished and they want to go on the hunt again. So they will be very smelly there now. Right, well, I'm afraid that's going to be it for this sighting. We will keep trying to keep up with this pride. I don't know where they're going to go. Oh, there's the rest of them moving now. Sorry, Chandri. There you can see. Now, Roshni, you've asked a difficult question. You say, what's my opinion on the Mara traditional conflict with the lions? I'm not sure what you mean, other than, of course, there is this conflict all over Africa where local people who have been dispossessed of land come up against game reserves which have largely colonial backgrounds. And it's no different in South Africa, it's no different in Kenya, Tanzania, Cameroon, you name it. Those problems exist. In this particular area, of course, there are some people living on the sides of the reserve, and I really think that, I mean, my opinion is that there is it's an extremely complicated topic. I think there is merit in both sides. You know, the argument from many local people is, well, you know, this was our land and you took it from us. The argument from many conservationists, who are now local people as well, of course, these days, is, yes, we understand that, but if we don't protect areas like this with such a vast human population, then we're going to be in real trouble. So, you know, there's merit on both sides of the argument. This particular area has had tremendous drought, which of course increases pressure on areas like this, which tend to survive better than communal grazing lands. Alrighty, let's head across to Byron, who seems to have left his lions. I'm going to see what these lions do. In the meantime, let's find out what Byron, bad choice, Smector Sarau has to say.
Well, you see there's not many trees out here. You can see there's a single Balanites tree in the distance and another one there. Good afternoon, my name is Brent Smith and I've got Dangerous Dave Easter on camera and we're live from the Mara, and for the very first time, live from Kenya, in the Masai Mara, we're going to show you a leopard in a tree. Now, this is not where I expected to see our first leopards. I expected to find it around the edge of the escarpment, or at least along the river, but there we go. Now, the reason we're so far away at the moment, I'm trying to see if it's got a kill there, but I'm not sure. It looks like it could be a big boy, is because I don't know whether this leopard is relaxed or it is skittish. And we're going to sneak a little bit closer, but I really hope it's a nice relaxed leopard. Judging from so far, I mean, we are quite far away, but it is looking very relaxed so far. So shall we edge a little bit closer? Remember, hashtag Safari Live if you've got any questions. This is the first live leopard from the Mara team. Isn't that exciting? I've seen a few, but it's either been at strange times of the day or very fleeting glimpses of skittish leopards. So we're going to take this approach very carefully. Now, for those of you who haven't been on leopard habituation with me before, it's Djuma. It's a very subtle thing. Now, I'm talking quite loudly now, and I'm actually doing that on purpose. I want the leopard to know that I am here. And now, as we start driving towards the leopard, I'm not going to drive straight towards it. Now, all animals, even people, if you imagine something coming straight towards you, it's quite confrontational. So I'm going to slowly go towards that tree in front of us. And then we're going to stop. We'll have another look at how the leopard reacts, and then from there we will go again across the face, never directly at an animal, especially if you don't know that if they're relaxed or not. Okay, this is so exciting. Now, I was expecting we were going to see our first leopard up against the escarpment or around one of the luggers or river systems. Bree says that looks like a massive leopard. I think you are right. Now, I will start talking quieter as I get closer, but I don't want to surprise the leopard. That is why I'm talking quite loudly, and so far everything's looking quite good. I haven't even seen a head lift, which means this is probably a nice relaxed big tom. And Bree, I think it's quite a big looking male as well, just from the size of the tree and the size of that cat. Woohoo! And this is going to be so exciting because we're going to be able to hopefully get some nice ID shots of this leopard. And we're just going to stop here and have another closer look. And as I get, he has not moved an inch. He has not even lifted his head at us, which is a very... Oh, there we go. His head's lifted now. So he has heard us. That is a massive boy. Maybe not too old. I'm trying to see if there's tears in the ear, but of his head, yeah, back to sleep. That is a really good sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep edging closer and gauging his reaction. It looks like he's going to just lie down again. Yeah, that's a good sign. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to get close to him. Now, the leopards that are as relaxed as the ones in the Sabi sands. Okay, let's continue on. And as I said, it's very important to just... Oh, there's a termite mound in front of me. Go very slowly in these situations. And this is one of the most exciting things about coming into a new area. And an amazing thing about having such a vast area is that you do get to see animals that might not have seen cars before. And it is one of the most wonderful things to be able to sneak up and habituate and gain those animals' trust. Hi, Roshni. Roshni wants to know how far we are. I would say we're roughly about 80 meters from the leopard currently. But again, it looks like he's gone right to sleep. He's not perturbed with our presence at all. So what I'm doing is I'm watching him as we're driving. Now, Dave's going to try and give you a view. It is quite difficult because we are off-road. And I'm just watching his reactions. The fact that he hasn't turned his head to look at me is a good sign. And as soon as he would lift his head or even stand to look at us, even though I'm pretty confident this is a very relaxed leopard now, I would immediately switch off the car, stay for about 5 or 10 minutes, just talking normally, getting used to the sound of a human voice. As I say, I think this boy is used to people, judging by the fact that he hasn't moved. Now, it'd be interesting to see if he's got a kill in this tree and if he's hungry. Now, isn't this amazing? This is our first leopard in the Masai Mara, and that's why you got to be careful. Look at that, this big mud wallow out here just sneaking up trying to catch me. Don't worry, we were not caught. I was paying the right amount of attention to where I'm driving and to looking at the leopard. Oh, we're going to get so close now. I can feel this is going to be great. So hopefully I don't get stuck. I'm only joking, of course. I'll leave that to James and Jamie, getting stuck, that is. So I'm still not going to go right up to the tree yet. I still want to have a look at him, just gauge his reactions. He's lifted his head, but he doesn't look nonplussed. He looks the same as what Tingana or one of the Sabi Sands leopards might do. How's that for you, Dave? Look at that. Look at that. Oh, he's going to yawn. Hello. As I said, he looked like a big leopard, but not particularly old. And he looks to be a monster. And he looks like he does not mind us one iota. Oh, tired Getty. Beautiful. I've just realized something, Dave. I have broken my leopard in a Balanites tree duck. I have never seen a leopard in a Balanites. Fair enough, that is the Balanites species, Angama, that is in the Sabi Sands. But this is special. The first live leopard in the Masai Mara, my first leopard, and I've seen a lot of leopard, and it's in a Balanites. Hi, James. James is wondering how the leopards of the Masai Mara adapted to living there with a high number of, I suppose, lions and hyenas. Well, James, they have their trees. And as I said, I wasn't expecting to see a leopard right out here in the Balanites zone, but it makes sense. There's lots of Thompson's gazelle in this long grass. We could find oribi as well, lots of scrub hares, and of course I just heard some of the first zebra crossings happened today, so there's baby zebras coming through. The wildebeest should be arriving shortly, and at this time it's sort of a time of plenty, so they're probably not as in competition as much, but I think they would very quickly abandon their kill. Okay, now he is absolutely nonplussed whatsoever, so I'm going to get a little bit closer. Now, we're going to get ourselves into the position, get ready to take all the screenshots of this beautiful boy, but while we do that, let's go to Ali and some elephants. Well, he got up and not shot of both sides of his face. Oh, here he comes. Oh, big boy. So I said he's big, but he's not that old. And I think he's going to go out on the hunt. Oh, he's just going to lie down in the grass. He's tired of being in the tree, but you can see he's completely non-fussed whatsoever with us. Having a little scratch. Now, the reason the leopards like trees all the time, but you can see the amount of flies that have suddenly descended on him as he's come down. They hover around. Oh, I like this boy. Look at that tail whipping around at the flies. Isn't this just magic? Remember, hashtag Safari Live. I think the flies have just got too much for him. You better be careful, big boy. Their line's not too far from here. Now we're going to have a proper challenge. Trying to follow him carefully through this long grass and not get stuck. The other thing that the leopard's probably going to hunt quite a lot here, and just look at that camouflage, is of course warthogs. Now, a male leopard like this, warthog would be a lovely, easy meal for him, and there are lots of warthogs in these grassland areas. I've lost sight of him. Judy is saying that those trees look like trees from the Dr. Seuss book. I couldn't agree more, Judy. Do you see him, Dave? Now, you got to be careful. You don't know if he's just laying down. I'm almost trying to look for moving grass at the moment. But as I said, it's going to be... Welcome back, everyone. Remember, this is 100% live, coming to you from the Masai Mara in Kenya. And you can see how a leopard can absolutely vanish into the grass. And I think he got tired of being up in the tree, so he's just come down. He's moved maybe 30 meters from where we last saw him, and he's just popped down to have a snooze. And it looks like he's quite enjoying the shade of our roof. Now remember, if you've got any questions for us, hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, and we will do our best to answer. Now this is the first leopard we have seen live in the Masai Mara, so isn't that amazing? How he's now lying flat. You can barely see that there's a leopard. We have to drive very, very carefully not to drive over the poor guy. But I'd say he's a nice big male. Not too old yet. I'd say he's at oldest 6 or 7 years old. Still coming into prime. And I know a lot of you there are saying, look at that camouflage. It is amazing. And that ties into a question James asked a little bit earlier about how do leopards survive with lions and hyenas around. Well, they can climb, and their camouflage also plays a role, because and also being solitary predators, they don't come into contact as much, and they can avoid conflict quite a lot easier than something that's traveling in a group. So this is very, very special. Our first ever live leopard in Kenya. Is his head up? No, he's still down. And again, in an area we didn't really expect to see a leopard, out in the Balanite zone and out in the open grasslands. And I think he's going to snooze. He looks quite hungry, so we might spend some time with him, and we'll see how we feel. But we are quite a long way away from where camp is. We're probably about, as on the roads, about 30 odd kilometers. But when I got the message from Stratton, who's the Marshall Eagle researcher, that there was a leopard in the area, of course I had to rush to get you. Hi, Lisa. Lisa is wondering how many leopards are in the Mara. Well, Lisa, there's no sure number that you can sort of throw out, but your leopard densities in areas where you have high prey densities are normally higher, as are hyenas and lions. So I would say, on average, you probably find a dominant male leopard here, depending on where his territory is, will hold anything from 4,500 to 6,000 hectares. And that's out here, I would say, in the big open grasslands. On the riverine areas, you'll probably find that the male territories are as small as 2,000 hectares. And with the female territories obviously being a lot smaller, I'd say on average a female territory of around 600 to 1,000 hectares along the rivers. And the males, as I say, are a bit bigger. But again, we're not 100% sure. We need to find out more information. As we spend more time in the Mara, we're going to learn a lot more about all these animals. And that is one of the most fascinating and amazing things about being able to take you on a live safari in multiple places in Africa at the same time. Speaking of multiple places, Ali's got Ellie's digging for water. Okay, well, there's been a massive arrival of zebras now. They've crossed the Mara River. I think they're a bit spooked. I think they've been chased by lions. I saw some lions earlier today. And now this male leopard has heard them. Oh, he's gone back to sleep. I thought he might, especially if there's a young zebra foal, would definitely be within his grasp. Adult zebra, probably just a bit too big for him. But there are lots of zebra, and they just keep streaming in. just going to see what happens. Now, he's got up and moved when he's heard the zebras running through. And there we go, you can see them. And as I say, the time of plenty has arrived for the predators in the Masai Mara now. Look at that. He's still flat in the grass. Can you see him, Dave? You can't see him. Okay, how close is that car behind us? I'm just going to move slightly. How much reverse time have I got, Dave? Is that all? So I'm just going to try what we always do is try to put ourselves in the best position to see everything that's happening at the same time. So the zebras are all moving through there. So I actually want to be behind him. Oh, what? While we get into position, it seems like we're with leopards and James is with lions.
Hello everybody. Well, it wasn't bacon that they got, it is a young wildebeest, and what Jean-Andre was showing you there was the lioness who's gone back to fetch her cub, have killed a little wildebeest right here, right now. It all happened very, very quickly indeed. The little wildebeest is just in the body. Well, it wasn't bacon that they got, it is a young wildebeest, and what Jean-Andre was showing you there was the lioness who's gone back to fetch her cub, have killed a little wildebeest right here, right now. It all happened very, very quickly indeed. And the little wildebeest is just in the grass there. It's not part of the migratory herd, it's not part of the migration. This wildebeest herd, apparently it's part of a much smaller herd of 30,000 odd, which of course in Kruger terms is massive for wildebeest. There it comes. But they are resident in this area, and which they've just killed right now. And I think, of course, we are going to be sitting here for quite a while because we don't have to go anywhere today. And because we don't have to go anywhere today, well, what that means is that we can wait for the young cub to come back to the kill with any luck. And of course you can hear a whole lot of leopards around. Everybody is greatly excited by what we've witnessed here today. For very good reason. Now I think what she will probably do, Jean-Andre, is head towards those trees there. If they don't eat it here, I think she'll take it towards the trees. And then the cub will hopefully come back, just sort of as everybody, unfortunately for them, has to clear off. We're going to be here until the end of the drive. So we've got another 2 hours, of course. Everyone else has got an hour. Jean-Andre, shall I just reposition slightly so that that bar doesn't get in the way? Wow. Quite an afternoon. Quite a day, really. I'm just trying to help these guys get past us. I'm just going to stop here, actually, until everything's sort of calmed down a bit. There she is. Phew. So, I mean, as far as I know, this is the Angama Pride. We've got largely bacon eaters, of course. This time they're having a bit of venison, and young venison, veal venison, if you like, which is, of course, a little bit distasteful to some. But that is what happens out here. The young and infirm gets taken out. Yeah, Aaron, it really is. It's cats galore day, as you say. We've had a magnificent day out here, both at Djuma and in the Mara, of course. And wow. I mean, I don't know what to say about this, other than wow. Okay, I'm going to reverse back a bit now, just so that we can get a bit more space. Jean-Andre, shall we go back a little bit? Yeah, she's moving. I'm just going to warn you, everybody, there are a lot of vehicles here, so we might get in the way, they might sort of get in the way slightly, but if I get past this fellow here, very kindly parked as he is, I think we'll get a nice view of him. How's that, John-Ry? Is that all right for you? All right, there we go. Right, we're going to wait and see what plays out here. Try and sort of not play bumper cars, but dodge 'em cars. Brent has got a whole lot of striped ponies streaming across the plains.
You can see these zebras just streaming past us. Now, the leopard's not too far away over there, but he isn't actually showing much interest. And I also heard that there was a prominent balanites tree with a V just down the road where there were lions. So we're going to start making our way towards there. And you see there's this constant stream of zebras coming past us. Now let's get back to the road. Should be around here somewhere. Roads sometimes in a sea of grass can be quite difficult to spot. So there's a tree with a prominent V, which I'm assuming is that big balanites over there. And these zebra herds are running straight towards that prominent tree. You can see there's a group up there. There's probably another 100 or so over to the left of us, all moving towards where those lions are. So fingers crossed we can actually find them as well. It seems like it's a big cat day out in the Mara today. Remember, #SafariLive if you've got any questions for us. We've just left the male leopard. He's still sleeping. I think I'm going to probably try and come back to him if we don't find these lions. Now, this pride of lions, I'm not sure who they'll be. It could be border pride. So, up ahead, you see there's two very small little hills with some trees on them. There we go. Those are called Lima Mbili. It means the two hills. And the two hills are sort of the boundary between the border pride and the sausage tree pride to a degree. They come in from this side. Then there's also the Ingiro Area pride, which is right up against the escarpment. And they're very skittish and nervous, and they're not seen very often. I wonder where all these zebras are, or what they're running from and where they're going. Okay, so we're going to keep moving through here, keeping an eye on what's going on in the Mara, and Byron's doing the same at Djuma.
Well, Byron might be having a very peaceful day, but I tell you what, this lioness, well, she's having a bit of a torrid time now because she's trying to get this kill into a place where she can eat it in peace, but not nearly as torrid as that wildebeest herd that has unfortunately, had a very bad time indeed. Now, she's dragging it much further than I thought she would. She might be taking it to the next group of trees, and quite possibly that is where she will meet the other lioness and the cub. Now, you haven't seen the wildebeest yet. I would put it at definitely less than 6 months old, so probably a 3-month-old. Can't be a 3-month-old, surely. Must have been born around January, unless maybe born a bit later in the herds that aren't migratory. It wasn't a big one, though. That's interesting, I don't know if the sedentary herd that lives here produces their offspring at the same time as the ones in the migration, which I think produce them in January in the plains of the Serengeti in the southern plains. And that is just a beautiful shot, isn't it? Quintessential East African Mara scene. Just stunning. Now, there is a road. She's heading towards the original road where we first saw them. So I suspect quite strongly that that is where they'll go. She's looking for others. Now, I don't know sufficient about the dynamics of this area to know whether this lioness and her partner are the only members of the Angama pride. I thought it was 3 or 4 of them, plus about 3 or 4 cubs. But so far, it's just been the 2 lionesses and the 1 youngster that I've seen. And I'm just scanning this grassland to see if perhaps the other lioness isn't heading this way, which I don't think she is. Alright, what we're going to try and do is get around here and then head towards that other road. Teresa, you say, how does prey protect the youngsters from the predators in such a vast area? Well, I mean, I don't think the vastness of the area probably helps. You know, they can get away. There's more space to run. They can see more easily. But I think, you know, the only way for a youngster to be protected is to run, if you're the size of a wildebeest, because, you know, if a big bull wildebeest stopped to try and defend the calf against a lion, the lions would just take the big bull wildebeest, so they have no option but to run away. But the size and openness of this area is probably a pretty good thing for the wildebeest. I mean, that's why there's so many compared with, for example, in the Sabi sand, or one of the reasons. And that's because they can see lions coming, which makes them just that much more successful than they would be in more closed woodland areas. But interestingly, we have been talking quite a lot about how difficult it has been, or how potentially difficult it is for lions in an environment like this, but it isn't actually. You'd think that given the lack of bush around here, that there would be nothing for them to hide around or hide behind. But in actual fact, this long grass is perfect for them. It means that they never get in the way of something. They always have a clear line of sight just about to their prey. And if they're careful, and it struck me the other day as I was watching some footage and we were going through it, and we were talking about, is it harder or is it easier? And it struck me that actually they are perfectly designed for this, and I suspect that their design evolved in an area exactly like this, where they just lift their heads above the grass and then they carry on going. And you can see broad daylight, they just made a kill. All right, let's head across to Ali. I'm going to try and get around and see the others. We'll see if we can catch up with a cub. While we do that, go and say hello to Ali. This? No. Oh, we are live. I've lost my earpiece. Please excuse me. We're just trying to sort something out here. There we are. All right, we had a small problem with the card recording that lion kill, so we have now sorted that out. Now, the update from here, you see me keep looking like this to the left-hand side. Gendre is not, in fact, on camera right now. On camera we have Manuel, not of Faulty Towers, Manuel of Kenya. Manners, welcome. And I'm going to point you towards where the lions are. They're underneath those trees there. Well, at least one of them is. The one with the kill is underneath the trees. We think that the other one has gone further off towards the right-hand side, but we're not entirely sure at this stage. We're just kind of waiting. We will probably be able to go off-road after dark, and so we're going to wait here and see if we can't get a little bit of action of the feeding kind a bit later. Oh. I'm talking absolute rubbish. There's a lion right next to us. She's just there. She's brought the carcass all the way across here. Can you see it there, Mummy? There you go. There we go. We didn't even see her coming through the grass. That is astounding. Anyway, there she is. She's got the kill with her now. What an idiot. I do apologise, everybody. You know, sometimes my own idiocy really does astound me. Well, there she is. She's got her kill. I'm going to have to move slightly further forward, otherwise I'm afraid what's going to happen is we're going to get cut off. Right, Mandu's first driving shot. Here we go. Definitely worth waiting here. I'm going to stop here because I don't know if she wants to cross the road. We need to leave a little bit of a gap for her to go. Let me get out of your way. There she comes. I think she's going to go straight across the road here. And she must be pretty tired at this stage, I imagine. She's walked probably a kilometre. That is beautiful, isn't it lovely? There we go, she's going to take it straight across the road in front of us. Right, cool to just wait here. And there you can see the size of the wildebeest for the first time. Yeah, definitely born this year sometime. Maybe slightly later than those on the southern plains. And yes, it is a bit macabre, I suppose. But a wonderful shot there of a lioness in the grass. And you can see what I mean when I told you that they are designed so perfectly for this environment. You can see exactly what I mean. All around very quiet from a bird point of view. She keeps going. The other lioness, I think, has lost her. And I can't see her moving. I'll tell you one of the major differences here that I've noticed since I've got here from Djuma is that because there's not so much woodland, there aren't quite so many birds in the grassland areas, and that means that you cannot be led. It's very difficult to be led by alarm-calling birds. Now, you know how many times we have followed leopards and lions on the move from the alarming of the birds. Well, it's quite difficult in this area. All right, I think what's going to happen now is you're going to see a couple of cars. People are just going to reposition, and she's gone off there, and we probably won't be able to follow her for now, but we might be able to follow her a little bit later. Now, there she goes. She still continues towards the big shepherd's tree over towards the left there. You see her, Manu? There you go. Up a bit. That's it. All right, Baron has managed to catch up with the Ninkapumas as the light fades there at Djuma, and with any luck they too will get up and do something quite astonishing like this bunch over here.
Well, we're back and the sun is setting, and it is that exciting time of day when the big cats get moving. And just over my shoulder here is a male leopard who's lying in the grass, but fortunately tonight we're going to stick with him for as long as possible. A lovely big boy, I'd say about 6 or 7 years old, not too many nicks and scars. And as you can see, camouflage is king out in the African bush, and he has disappeared. Oh, I did see a bit of movement there, Dave. You see a little bit of movement. Oh, he's yawning a bit. Ah, it's good signs, good signs. He might be up and moving. Remember, this is 100% live from the Masai Mara in Kenya. Please send your questions through using the hashtag SafariLive. Now, our plan is to stay as long as possible. Hi, Rock. Rock is wondering whether the leopards keep close to the wooded areas around here. Now, Dave is going to show you, Rock, that this is not one of the wooded areas. Now, one must remember that animal behavior is area-specific rather than species-specific. So the leopards in the Sabi sands will have different tactics to leopards in the Masai Mara. And you can see we're in a very big open grassland. Now, this open grassland is dotted with trees. It is called a balanite zone. And there we go, Dave, well, dotted. There's a few of them. Oh, he's up. Hello, beautiful. He is an exquisite specimen. And I'd say well in the prime of his life. Now, I'm hoping that some of you guys are going to be able to get screenshots of both spot patterns. I've only managed to get shots of one. Danny is wondering, do the leopards have names in the Mara? Yes, they do. Not all of them, but most of them. So it's going to be interesting for us to see if this leopard has a name. I'm going to have to go chat to the guides and the researchers to see if this particular leopard has a name. He is quite relaxed, so there is a possibility he might just have a name. But until we can find out, who knows? But it's very exciting. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with how we identify leopards individually, that each individual leopard has something called a spot pattern. Now, a spot pattern is like a fingerprint. It's unique to every single leopard out there, and it is the line of dots above his whiskers. So, can you see there, Dav? Okay, let me just wait. There we go. So you see there's his last line of whiskers, and he's got 2 spots above. So, and that's his right side. So I've only got the spot pattern for his right side so far, which is 2. Now, when reading spot patterns, you always begin with the right side and end in the left side. So at the moment, he's a 2 unknown. But that's the fun thing. We're going to get to find out exactly who he is. And hopefully he's going to take us on a little wander through the long grass. Fuzzy Bunny would like to know, do the leopards have any threats here? The same threats that face leopards throughout Africa. In these type of areas, they do not have much threat from people. We're right in the center of the Mara Triangle, and it's very unlikely that these leopards would ever come into contact with illegal poaching and that. But the biggest threats to leopards in an ecosystem like this are lions, hyenas, and of course other leopards. But I'd say it'd be quite a brave leopard to tangle with this young gentleman. As I say, he looks to be right in his prime. Now he's starting to do a bit of grooming. You can just see the movement through the grass there, which is always a good sign for us. So it's one of the things we look for in big cats when we're following them for a long period of time, is when they start grooming, and hopefully they'll start stretching next, then they'll defecate, urinate, and then we're on the move. At the moment, the grass is quite pretty in the golden light. Hello, Daniel in Scotland. Daniel would like to know, is the Masai Mara's Big 5 the same Big 5 as in South Africa? Indeed it is. The big difference is the Big 5 we see here is we've only got 1 species of rhino in the Mara. We only have the black rhino, where there is, or the hook-lipped rhinoceros, where there is in South Africa they have white and black rhino. So yes, the Big 5 is the same. Now, the Big 5 is originally from the colonial area for the 5 most dangerous animals to hunt on foot. So it is the same throughout Africa. And of course, as times have changed, that the Big 5 has become a far more sought after to be shot by cameras rather than bullets. And it is a good thing that. And the world is changing. And it will continue to change, and hopefully we're going to be a good part of that change, bringing Africa to everyone, and hoping and helping people to realize how important the natural world around us is. Now, we're going to wait here to see if anything happens, but we're going to zoot across back to South Africa to see if Ali can match my leopard with one of her own.
And I will tell you that the lions, all of them, have crossed to that tree over there, which, Manu, if you wouldn't mind, we can have a look at. It's that tree just there. Big tree, and a bird came and sat upon it, that one on the left-hand side of the screen, that's it. And they are probably feeding there, and we may or may not go off and have a look at them a bit later. We have to wait for our Askari, who is our nighttime accompaniment here in the Mara. All the other vehicles are headed home, but we, with our Wild Earth special privileges, are allowed to be here for a bit longer, as long as we have an Askari. And so he's on his way to us. He'll join us shortly, and then we might go off and see if we can't spot those lions. It was 2 lionesses in the end, and 2 cubs. About, I would say that they were probably about almost 3 months old, actually. So hopefully we'll get to see them in the infrared light a little bit later. We're also, we're not far from the den of our hyena clan that we saw last year in September. And if I'm not mistaken, what are they known as? I've forgotten what they're called. There's the North clan that Brent has spent quite a lot of time around since he's been here this time round. And this clan's got a really odd name, and I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, they're not too far from here, so they might come through. The wind is blowing straight towards them, so perhaps they'll pop around here. Thomas, you say the diversity of the animals in the Mara here is incredible. It is absolutely incredible, but, you know, the diversity in the Sabi sand is no less. It's just that you don't see it all at the same time. So the number of mammal species, or of antelope species that we get in the Sabi sand is 10. Out here, I haven't counted them. We get wildebeest, obviously. We get dik, we get steenbok. There are probably a couple of duiker in the forested areas. I haven't seen one here yet. Waterbuck, no kudu. We get impala, of course. We get, what else? We get the topi. And then, of course, we get the 2 gazelle species. And there may be 1 or 2 that I'm forgetting. But, you know, by and large, the diversity is actually the same. It's just that you see it all at the same time over here, and that's what makes it look like it's slightly more diverse. I think you might find, actually, that the total number of species in the Sabi sand is higher. Oh, yes, our Lara Moore, absolutely it does. I'm just going to go a little bit forward so that we can just change our picture slightly. You say, does it smell different here in the morning from the evening? Yes, it absolutely smells different in the morning here from the evening. The morning smells much wetter. Remember, there's quite a heavy dew that will fall sometimes. Now we've had quite a hot day, cloudless day. All of that dew has gone away. And so now, instead of that sort of fresh-cut grass smell that we get in the mornings, what we've got at the moment is a smell of dry grass, that sort of crisp, golden dry grass smell. But of course there's a lot of green grass underneath the dry stuff here, and that also lends its own smell to what is a really special scent, I think, of the evening here in the Mara. And as I say that, of course, the wind is starting to come up, and so that's going to require something of a jersey. So I think I'm going to put a jersey on, and Brent Smith has managed to keep up with that leopard, which is fantastic, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about him now.
Well, this leopard is being really, really wonderful to us. He's now moving down one of the grass-cut roads, so we're going to keep up with him. And I think he's out on the hunt. He's quite hungry, and you can see the magnificent sun setting below the Olololo escarpment. I just need to have a quick chat here quickly. About him, sir. Askari's coming in the gari now to spend the night with us. Asante. Mzuri sana. Okay. Just chatting to one of the guards. He's looking at me a little bit funny because I didn't have my Ascari yet, but Steph is bringing the Ascari. He's just dropped one off with James. And we're quite far from James. We're probably around 20 kilometers or so from James. He's directly below Angama, in that area of the Angama Pride. We're actually quite far down south in the Balanite zone, and not too far that way is actually Tanzania. And now, one of the wonderful things, as the sun sets here in the Mara, there's only going to be us out and about. Isn't this gorgeous? You do not get many more scenes beautiful than this. Now, up ahead there, that's Limambili. Around that area, there's Grant's gazelle, Thompson's gazelle, impala, zebra, and what else did I see there today? Oh, but anyway, generally there's always a lot of smaller antelope, Grants and Tommies, in particular an impala, which of course fits right into this beautiful big boy's diet. Oh, this is magic. Dave?
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. As soon as we saw that he was hungry today, I think Dave and I knew we weren't moving too far from where he was. Sarah says, what a beautiful steam. Indeed, Sarah, you are 100% correct. It is exquisite, magnificent, breathtaking. I love it when they stop, listen, seeing if there's any potential prey up ahead. As I say, I think he's only really going to get, well, you never know, there could be a warthog late on its way back to its home, but generally I'd say he's going to have the most success around that Lima Mbili area. And I know all of you must be just as excited as me to have our first new leopard friend in the Masai Mara. And I'm hoping we're going to spend oodles upon hours, upon days, upon weeks, upon months of time with these incredible cats, and hopefully in particular with him. He's definitely going to be the dominant male, just judging from his behavior in this beautiful Balanite zone. He might even dip down towards the little Inselbergs, towards Tanzania. And as I said, this is one of the really amazing and fun things about being out here, is that you are able to follow these animals, and also we get to learn a whole new different set of animals. And what fascinates me the most in all the different places in Africa I've worked and traveled and game viewed is the fact that a leopard here could do something that you would never expect from a leopard in the Sabi Sands, or in Botswana, or in Zambia, or even in Mozambique. So it is quite special. What's he? Look at that. He's on his back legs. Now, this is what I'm talking about. We don't often see leopards do this in the Sabi Sands, but he obviously has to be able to see over that grass. Now, he's heard something in the grass that we can't see, he can't see. Oh dear, this is where it gets difficult. I might have to get my... I don't think he's going to go too far. He's still interested. And he might even do that little hop onto his back legs again. Now, we've seen leopards in the Sabi Sands do it, but it's not something they do often. And I think you probably find the more time we spend with leopards out here in the Mara, it's something that they probably do have to do quite often, especially if their territories are out away from the escarpment or the rivers and out in these open grasslands around the Balanite. I mean, you never know, there could be, I don't even know what there could be there. He might have even heard a serval or something. I'm going to try to stick with him in this long grass. Fortunately, we have... There could also be an errant Thompson's gazelle that's wandering. Oh, he's definitely onto something. He's jogging after whatever it is, whatever he can hear now. What have you heard, big boy? Can you see anything from up high there, Dave? Now, from his behavior, it looks like he's running to try cut something off that's heading that way. That's why I'm not driving directly behind him. Remember, we are very, very careful not to interfere in hunts. He can hear something in this grass. Sorry, Dave, I didn't hear that. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to stick with him. He is definitely after something. I've lost sight of him now. But he is just jogging through the grass. He's heard something we can't see. Just keep an eye for his head, Dave. It just pops up every now and then. That's sort of giving us an idea of where he is. There he is. As I say, I'm being very careful to drive quite far away. I don't want to get too close. I don't want to ruin his chances at success. head down again. Ooh. That's what we got to watch out for out here. Warthog holes. There he is, he's right in front of us now. Ears up. You know what there could be here? That one thing I didn't think of was a boar reedbuck. And they are often hiding in this long grass. Now, I do have a thermal night vision scope that unfortunately only I can see out of to help me keep track of things in the dark. Dave does have infrared, but we need to put the lights on still. But I think we've got enough ambient light at the moment. And oh, he's jogging again, Dave. There's a zebra running right towards us. He's actually setting an ambush. There's a zebra running right towards us. Okay, we've lost sight of him, but he's literally going in ambush for the zebra. Now, he's probably going to hope that there's a youngster. This is another one of these long-lined zebras that he completely ignored earlier. Will he be brave enough to go for an adult zebra? Oh, look at that. See, they've sensed something's wrong. I don't think they saw it. The wind is in no one's favor. Maybe they did see him. That was a very sharp zebra. If he did, I just make out his ears. Is that him there, Dad? Is that little? Yeah, that's him there. That was a very good spot, zebra. I don't think it was convinced that it saw something. I think it's amazing that. I think instinct does play quite a role in these things. Now, they're not sure whether something's there or not. Are there more zebra coming in from behind us? No, they're not. This looks like to be the last of them. He's way too far. Is he going to jog after the zebra? That is the question. They're moving quite quickly, and they can keep up that slow trot for quite a distance, whereas he probably won't be able to. I didn't see any. There's one smallish zebra in that group, but no particularly small. But that's what I'm saying. You never know. Maybe a male leopard here would go for an adult zebra. There he is, heads up now. I think it's still a bit light for the... Should we give the thermal a try, Dave?
Yeah.
Let's have a look through my little spotter. Let me see if I can remember how to use it. Oh. Okay, there he is. So he's definitely stopped hunting, and I'm just testing that I can see him in my thermal spotter. I probably look quite ridiculous. Yeah, probably look quite ridiculous, but it is working, so it'll be much easier for me to keep pace with him while he moves through the grass by just checking every now and then. And while we do that, let's go across to Ali, who's got one of the cutest creatures in the African bush. Well, the zebras were coming straight towards him. They seemed to have a sixth sense in this long grass. And they came quite close to him, but they went, I suppose, I thought they might run right up to him, but then they didn't. They moved past. But these zebras are streaming through. Shame, boy. As I say, I don't think he's hunting too seriously just yet. I think he's waiting for it to be properly dark. And with this amount of zebra in this area, and they keep coming through, he might get the opportunity to go after a young zebra foal. So when we just thought there were no more zebras coming, they just keep coming. Now I wonder if these guys are crossing. They're all heading down towards the Tanzanian border at the moment. And they almost seem nervous in this long grass. They just jog through it. There there we go, you can see them jogging there. Well, of course, as I said, jog, they slow down. And they've probably been moving for quite some distance. Now, he can obviously hear a lot better than I can. So how I actually figure that zebras are coming is I actually see him change his behavior and body language. And I think he hears them coming through the grass. Is that incredible? We can't hear that, but he hears them long before they arrive. And he's trying to get himself into a spot where he can probably not jump on any zebra, but wait till he finds a small enough one.